Yeah guys, today I'm going to show you this absolutely awesome, super beautiful and rugged WalkerFit M6 Ultra. Definitely deserves the Ultra because it's comparable to some other Ultras, especially regarding the design, ruggedness, and especially also the always-on battery runtime. So here you can see the always-on display, but of course we also have the passive display, exactly what we have also from other watches, and like that in combination with active watch face and passive watch face. I've been wearing it now for more than 3 days, day and night. Of course, had turned off the passive display during the night while sleeping. Other than that, it has been always on, either like that or the passive watch face, which also has a lot of information, pretty much everything what you need. And when I check it here, maybe you can see that it's still on 27% after 3.5 days without recharging. Definitely a contender of the longest battery runtime with always on display in this class, and maybe even in the top 10 overall of all smartwatches in 2025. But it has also a lot of other features, a lot of sports, fitness, health tracking, great waterproofness, rotatable crown, comes with a nice charging cradle and even a second watch band. Definitely a super special watch. It has been one of my favorite smartwatches during these 4 days of wearing it, but I've also found 2 things which I didn't like too much, 2 really important things which didn't work perfectly here and which could cause quite some problems during daily life when we want to rely on such a smartwatch. So let's look into all the details and find out what we really have here in detail. And so that's what we get. We get the watch already with the installed black watch band. So I've switched to the orange one, which is also included. We get the instructions manual. We get the charging cradle, charging super easy. We get these 2 pins. It's not wireless charging, so we have to align it here. And you can see charges really nicely, very good visible with the percentage here. And so after charging we can just remove it. Watch bands are very easy to replace. You can see, let's measure what size we have here. Yeah, I would say probably 22mm standard watch bands. So if you don't like one of these watch bands, then you can replace it because it has a lot of space here. But I mean, these 2 watch bands are already good choice. The only things what we have to be aware of, that these straps here don't come with normal standard pins. We can see that here inside, these pins, something which I usually really like. We don't have this here. Instead of that, we have these knobs here on the side for the first strap, but the second one is totally loose and the first one is actually a little bit too close to the buckle. Other than that, they are beautiful, comfortable. By the way, I've been wearing it like that, usually with this watch face or this one here, especially during the night. You can see also crown working nicely, so we can switch or rotate through the existing watch faces, but we can add many more which are free from the app. Connection has been very good. So it was super easy to connect to the free app. Just took me maybe 1 minute or so, and the connection was always super stable to the app and also to the normal Bluetooth of my phone for the phone functions and also for the AI assistant. Also, after moving around without the phone coming back, it was always reconnecting instantly. Then we have a lot of functions, but they are arranged in a rather unusual way. So here on top we have the settings, which is normal. We have a lot of things here, pretty much everything which we normally use. By the way, the colors are a little bit nicer than what you see here. Camera is not catching the colors really fully. So for example, we have the phone on off, we have the brightness. We can adjust the brightness in different settings, darker for the night and super bright for outside. Visibility outside in direct sunlight was good, absolutely no problem. During the night it could be a little bit darker, but it was still okay. Here percentage of the battery, wrist gesture on off, silence on off, flashlight, do not disturb, settings, and we can even adjust it. You can see we have 2 pages full of icons where we can choose from. Then down here we have a really special menu. It can be super helpful. For example, timer, we can start timer directly from here. You can see really nice, or invoke the whole timer menu, and we press a little bit on the side, so we have different presets or even custom mode. What I also like, when we press here, we could go back to the main screen. Don't have to worry about the timer, leave it running in the background. So it's really nice to have this multitasking function. And so when we go back to the timer menu, we can see it's really running down in the background. And so we are approaching 0. And so I go back to the main screen so you can see how this works. So now it's at 0. And informing me, and so I can just click and disable that. Absolutely awesome. But we have much more. We have a lot of health information. We can always click on more. Then we have really a lot of details, not only for the current day but also for recent days. Heart rate, same thing. When we click here, you can see blood oxygen. Lot of details already here, and the settings are a lot. We can even adjust how frequent we want the watch to measure that, but of course the more frequent you do that, the more battery it consumes. And then we have also a low blood oxygen alert, which you can activate, stress monitoring, weather information, with a lot of details, and really a lot, even hourly forecast, daily forecast, then the alarms directly here, showing for example the first alarm, but we can also set new alarms here, deactivate, change that, but we have also wake up alarms. We can click here and have some advanced sleep settings. And in the sleep settings, we have other alarms which you can set. Access the workout records, for example, swimming, which I've been doing. And I think it has been doing a really good job here, measuring a lot. And I mean, much more than with other smartwatches. I think the most details I've ever seen. Total laps. It was actually 28 laps. 14 laps was to one side and back. So it looks like it measured just like the round trip pretty much. But you can see it has measured so much. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah, never seen so many details. Women's health part, stopwatch. So we can start this here, but we can't go back to the main screen. World clock, and we can edit the whole thing here. So I've moved up, for example, the timer from the bottom to the top. Super convenient. So we really have super fast access to a lot of functions. I mean, it's not a list of the last used apps. That's not available here. But this menu here helps already a lot. And on top of that, we have also this button down here, which we can assign to pretty much any function which we have on this watch. For example, sports mode, timer, stopwatch. I have assigned the AI assistant here, so we can just invoke that. So let's click here. Hey Google, what's 1 pound in kilograms?
1 kilogram, text kg, is approximately 2.205 pounds, text lb.
So that has been working really good. Super nice assistant, not only working for iOS but also for Android. On the left side we have notifications. Notifications have been working really good, very reliable, fast. Can't show you personal information here, of course. And on the right side we have all the apps, so you can see we can either swipe here up and down with the finger, but it is a little bit overdoing. So the scrolling, you have to go really slow. If you do too fast, then it skips a couple of pages, or at least it looks like that, almost going from the top almost to the bottom. Of course, you can also go very slow, or you can use the crown here. That's the best way how to do that. And you can see we have really a lot here. Some of the functions I've already showed you, but also much more. Even compass function, calculator, find phone, music control, detailed sleep analysis, daily activities. The crown doesn't work very smooth, but on the other hand, I think it fits really perfectly for this style of the watch. So it doesn't rotate on its own. You don't have to be worried that it's accidentally changing something. And you can even hear some kind of a clicking, so you don't need any vibration feedback. I mean, it doesn't have one, but we actually also don't need one because it has it already mechanically. So we have pretty much everything what we can expect, but it works really in a different way. Usually messages are down here, recent apps on the left side, menus are usually activated when we press here. So it's a little bit different here and you can't change that, but I'm convinced you will get used to that. Again, I had it like that with the always-on display, but you can change that, of course. Here, for example, the always-on display settings. We have the face gallery. We can even use a schedule for the always-on with a start-end time. Do not disturb helps also really a lot for the night. And here we have the settings. For example, additionally, the brightness, display duration, raise to wake, tap to wake. We have even a tap to wake, but unfortunately the do not disturb function doesn't deactivate the tap to wake. So during the night when you accidentally touch, it would wake up the watch. So I decided to not use it. Maybe small disadvantage, sound and vibration. Media audio you can play from the smartphone. Activate silent mode, which I have here. So notifications will only vibrate. We have either a weak or a strong or off. And that works really good with one big exception. And that's unfortunately one of the most important ones. That's in the alarms. So again, very easy to set a new alarm. Click on the plus. It provides already the current time. Confirming here. We can also set repeats. Don't need that here. Just use it as a one-time alarm. Confirmed here with once, that's good. Yeah, change it here to 55. And again, confirmation here in the sound and vibration. We have it here in the silent mode, expecting just strong vibration. And now we are approaching 255. Can see the second hand, and now that's what's going to happen. Yeah, it's a bit crazy here. I hope you heard that. It is extremely loud, notifying the alert. And it looks like there's no way to disable the audible alarm and no way to reduce the volume here. This is super loud. That's something which you have to be aware of. On the other hand, the sports functions have been really working nicely. By the way, you can adjust here also the menu, and we have really a lot of details for every type of sport specifically. For example, we can also adjust here the goal. For example, set a time for the swimming, set a goal for the laps, set a goal for the calories. And when we are ready, we just click here, click on go, and the touch screen will also be disabled, which is an awesome thing. So the water doesn't do anything here and we can still see everything. Of course, also in the sports mode, the screen can dim or go to the passive watch face. So I highly recommend to activate the wrist gesture, or you can always press this button here and you can see the lock, which we can deactivate here with this button. You can see lock goes away and now we can even slide down. But even with the lock activated, we can access more information, for example, awesome while running or so. Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. Already here live, so much information here. And to end, we have to press down here and then long press. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see, it's down there. And so we end that. Yeah, sports recording, an absolute pleasure to use with this watch. And so here the call function. Of course, I have to use another camera here. So here the contacts, call logs, SOS keypad. And so I can dial something directly from here. And so you can definitely hear the speaker super loud. We can even increase or decrease the volume here. Okay, microphone test 1 2 3 4 5. Microphone test 1 2 3 4 5. Super nice, sturdy, beautiful, absolutely amazing. And of course also the details here from the app. So we have 4 different tabs. The home with a lot of health information. You can click into everything, dig down, get more information. Here, for example, today's data with everything what we have been doing, but also same thing for the week and for the months. Heart rate, same thing, a lot of details. Sleep, I would say it has been doing a really good job on tracking every detail, blood oxygen, stress monitoring. And in the sports, that works a little bit different compared to other apps because we really have the sports function of the watch and not from the smartphone. That's really nice. So we can start something measuring directly from here. We see even the heart rate from the watch. We have some settings. And so we can also see the sports records, pool swimming, what I've been doing. Can also see charts which we don't have on the watch with much more details, heart rate, pace, stroke rate. Yeah, pretty much perfect smartwatch for swim tracking, but of course also for a lot of other sports. Then in the device setting we have the watch face market, and here also something special. We have a separate function for the AOD watch faces. So usually the AOD watch faces are connected to the normal active watch faces, even on Android and I think even for Apple. So that's a very, very unique thing. So we can combine, for example, digital active watch faces with analog passive watch faces, different brightnesses and so on. And here all the watch faces for the active watch face, especially of course the multifunctional dials with a lot of information, very beautiful ones. Everything free here, as you can see. There's really, really a lot. And of course here the basic watch settings with the SMS reminder, smart alarms, incoming call reminder, health monitoring, enable, disable everything, app reminder. So you can turn on and off notifications for a lot of apps already here. If you need more, you can click on more reminders and again on more. And now it will show a lot of apps where we can activate or deactivate the notifications, much more than with a lot of other smartwatches which just have maybe 10 or 20 apps supported, but unfortunately we don't have support for all the apps. But of course it has nothing to do with the watch, it's a restriction of the WalkerFit Pro app here, but that's something which you have to know. I would say about 50% of the apps are supported and the other 50% are not. Hopefully this will be updated in the future. Then even more stuff like world clock, address book which we can import, add some quick replies for SMS, even add your own ones, more device settings like raise to wake, use the remote shutter to make photos, do not disturb even as a schedule, find the watch, find the phone, screen time out between I think 5 seconds and 60 seconds, device language. So we really have a lot, almost nothing missing here. And on the right side in the Me settings, we have also a ton of things, unit settings, weekly report, training schedule, third-party connection like Health Connect, which is an awesome thing these days, or even Strava. And permission and system settings. For the weekly report, of course, you have to wear it a while, but I think it can show some really nice trends here for the steps and also for the sleep with some health analysis. Yeah, we can definitely confirm it's a super beautiful watch with a ton of functions for detailed health and sports tracking, super sturdy build, most of the things working really super reliable except from the alarm. where I couldn't silence the alarm. Other than that, I absolutely love this watch. By the way, I have to admit that I got this watch for free from the seller, but it's still my own opinion. I would never claim something which is not true. And so if you're interested, I'll put down the link to the Amazon listing down into the descriptions. You can check it out and order one for you if you like, and I hope I've been able to help you a little bit with this video. If you have any questions or comments or want to share your own experience with this watch, then just let us know down in the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.